This is Grunt to Groan, sales lessons learned from professional wrestling. Coming to you from the fabulous Delaware Wrestling Thunderdome, I'm your host, Benjamin Burrows.
I am one voice that stands alone. I am one choice to man the throne. Stand guard and take shots, give it all I got. All I got is this microphone. I am
What a rush!
Reach for the sky, boy.
Hey, everybody, this is Billy Gunn.
Hi, this is Glasgow, Delaware Kit Kat.
Hey, it's me, the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart.
This is the Birdman Coco Beware.
Hey, this is Leo Rush.
In Macho Madness, yeah. Growing, and more seductive than sex.
To me, they are the greatest tag team in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks.
Hey, this is the NWA World's Heavyweight Wrestling Champion, the National Treasure, Nick Holden.
Woo! It's the Nature Boy. Woo!
While you may see me out there shaking my ass, you can guarantee on May 25th, I'll be kicking it too.
This is Tito Santana, WWE Hall of Famer.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome one of the founding fathers of All In, the executive vice president of All Elite, Cody!
And what you gonna do when Hulkamania and the largest arms in the world destroy you?
Well, let me tell you something, brother. Me and my 23-inch pythons never listen to Grunt to Groan with Benjamin Burrows. There you have it. Even the huckster is not listening to Grunt to Groan, sales lessons learned for professional wrestling. I know you're listening to the podcast, and I thank you very much. It is a great and glorious day to be out selling your products and selling your services, for you are the great American thunder on which this nation rolls, because nothing happens until something is sold, until you sell it. This is Grunt to Groan, sales lessons learned from professional wrestling. I'm your host, Benjamin Burrows. We are coming to you from the fabulous and newly remodeled Delaware Wrestling Thunderdome. Want to thank my producer, Dave the Ray, the staff of Grunt to Groan, and Sonny Thunder and the Sons of Thunder for helping us put this podcast together for episode number 41. And I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy day and listening and tuning in to the Grunt to Groan podcast. I know as a sales professional, you're out there and you're moving and you're grooving each and every day. You're prospecting new business, you're selling your products, presenting them, and you're closing deals. And I have great appreciation and great respect for what you do. And the whole Grunt to Groan Nation is about you, the sales professional. Because, again, as a sales professional, you are the great American thunder on which this nation rolls, because nothing happens, and I mean nothing happens, until something is sold, until you sell it. You can reach out to me from week to week, day to day, hour to hour by emailing me at greatamericanthunder@gmail.com. That's greatamericanthunder@gmail.com. I listen or read each and every email that you send me. Also, if you'd like to be a part of our opening, the opening where nobody listens to Grunt to Groan, sales lessons learned from professional wrestling, just record an opening for me. Say, hi, this is so-and-so, and I never listen to Grunt to Groan, sales lessons learned from professional wrestling, and email that to me at greatamericanthunder@gmail.com. We'll use it in our opening like we do the others, and it would be an honor and a privilege to hear from you like that. If you'd like to advertise on the program, email me at greatamericanthunder@gmail.com. Don't forget, you can pick the book up on any of the .coms, Barnes & Nobles, Walmart.com, Amazon.com. Grunt to Groan, sales lessons learned from professional wrestling. It helps us to build the Grunt to Groan Nation, and it is a form of appreciation for me when you buy my book. Never in a million years did I think that anyone would purchase Grunt to Groan Sales Lessons Learned from Professional Wrestling, and to date we've sold over 5,000 copies. So it is very humbling, and I appreciate all your support. Also, go on to Amazon.com if you purchased the book and write a review for me, if you don't mind. Now, in our last episode, episode 40, wow, did I get a response from that episode. I had a bigger response from that one episode than I have had in all the previous 39 episodes. And it had to do with CRM systems and not being afraid of a CRM system as a sales professional. And that if you rely on your branding, the branding of you, then the information on the client and in the marketplace that you have, that's not your only trump card when negotiating with your current employer or with a future employer. Now, I don't want all of this to get twisted because I got so much feedback, both pro and con. So I want to lay some things out in this episode to kind of clarify what I was trying to communicate. So, number one, I am not advocating or disavowing CRM systems. My opinion of a CRM system is pretty neutral, even though for me, as a sales professional, as you heard me say in episode 40, I document every contact I have with a client. Now, I'm not working with a CRM system. I had to create a system using the Outlook calendar, and it works very, very well for me. And I apply the 2-minute rule, which you heard me talk about in episode 40. So if I schedule an appointment that goes from 9 till 10, I schedule that appointment from 9 to 10:02. The appointment ends at 10 o'clock. I take the next 2 minutes when I'm in my car and I document. I document what happened in that appointment. I document what the action items are that need to be completed, what the client's going to do, what I'm going to do. That's why I have a running record. And I've done this for years. You can go back. I used to keep it manually in a day timer. And now I use Outlook. But I can go back 20 years and pull a day timer and show you exactly where I was on this day 20 years ago. Now, that's for me. Now, because I do that, again, I'm not supporting and I'm not disavowing CRM systems. But the complaint that I hear from sales professionals about CRM systems is that the only real tangible trump card that they have in the marketplace is the information that they've accumulated concerning the client over the years. That the information is their power. Now, I'm not going to disagree that there is power in information. And I'm not going to disagree that it's not a trump card. But it's not your only trump card. It's not your only strength. It's not the only tangible thing that you have to market and negotiate with. Your brand is as important or more important than the information you have. Now, I want you to think about that for a minute. Your brand, who you are, is more important than the information that you have. You see, you can't put your brand in a CRM system. You can't duplicate your brand. Your brand is very unique to you. As unique as your very own fingerprints. That is, if you are branding you. Now, if you're busy branding your products and you're busy branding your company and you're not branding you, I contend you're making a crucial mistake in your professional sales career. Your brand should be as important as the branding of your products and your company. I contend even more important. That's how passionate I am about it. Professional wrestlers can move from one federation to another. John Moxley can go from the WWE to AEW because of his brand, because of the brand that he's created. Cody Rhodes can go from AEW to Ring of Honor or New Japan, or maybe even back to the WWE because of the brand he's created. My boys, them boys from Sandy Fork, Delaware, the Briscoe brothers, they have a brand and history with that brand. And I just heard last week a discussion on Busted Open on Sirius XM about the fact that the Briscoe brothers could very well be the greatest tag team of their generation. That's them boys from Sandy Fork, Delaware.
Reach for the sky, boy.
And there they are. The Briscoe brothers, my buddies. But you see, in professional wrestling, branding is everything. I mean, you heard me talk about the story of Hulk Hogan leaving the WWF and the McMahons to take a small part in Rocky III. And this catapulted his brand and the brand of professional wrestling into the international stratosphere. So sometimes with your brand, you have to take risk. So I was reading my devotional this week, and I thought this was something that may clarify how important your brand is. And that your strength as a sales professional does not just lie in the information that you possess. It becomes powerful in the brand that you create. So out of my devotional, Our Daily Bread devotional collection, I'll read. While searching for an interesting way to instruct my college writing class about the concept of writing a biographical sketch, I found this idea. Write a biography in 6 words. When asked to do this, Pulitzer Prize winner Ernest Hemingway wrote this: for sale, baby shoes, never used. Imagine the sadness and the power behind those 6 words. For sale, baby shoes, never used. And that got me to thinking about you and your brand. If you were to write in 6 words or less a biography of your brand, what would it be? How powerful would it be? Would it describe who you are and what you bring to your client? Think about it. It's the real thing. Coca-Cola, 6 words. To all beef patties, special sauce, 6 words. Hardest working man in show business, 6 words. What would your 6 words be? You know, I try to brand myself as a resource in and out of my silo to my client. We reviewed that in episode 40. 6 words or less for me would be a resource to my clients. Back in the day, when I worked for an equipment manufacturer and I managed their distribution base in a large Northeast region, I carried a cooler. And in that cooler, I carried all kinds of unique and cold drinks. Now, here's why. When you unload equipment, janitorial equipment, it usually is a process and can often be a 2-man job. So someone would always meet me in the parking lot from the clients, and they would help me unload. And because they would help me unload and load back up, I carried a cooler with all kinds of drinks to offer my helper something to drink as gratitude and thanks. And I carried Coca-Cola in a bottle, in the small bottles, because you very rarely see them anymore. Pepsi in bottles, Stewart's orange drinks, Stewart root beer. Of course, I carried some juices and things like that. Now, because I did this, my clients started to brand me as Mr. Cool because I carried a cooler. Not because I'm cool in any way. My family will tell you I am not cool in any way. But that brand became so well known that when I purchased a motorcycle, the tag that I got for the motorcycle was Mr. Cool. And from that cooler and from those small and humble beginnings, that brand became so well known that when our local bike week happened down here in Ocean City, Maryland, when that bike week happened, I started organizing one-day or half-day bike trips for my distributor sales reps and my clients. And this just took my brand of Mr. Cool to a whole new level. And you see, in carrying that cooler and offering a drink, it showed that how I cared for my client and their people was more important than actually selling the equipment. I didn't ask for a close when I was giving someone a drink. Now, when I was demonstrating the equipment, absolutely. I went for the close. That's what made me successful. But when I was giving them a drink, I never talked about buying my equipment. My concern was that I wanted my helper to know I appreciated him helping or her helping me. You see, your brand should be something that is very near and dear to your heart. It is something that you should take very seriously and protect very seriously. It should effectively and efficiently describe to the client who you are and what a resource you are. And this is, your brand has nothing to do with the company you represent. It has nothing to do with the products that you represent. It is strictly about you. Now, part of my brand is that I love people. So not only am I a resource to my clients, I respect them and I respect their staff. I respect the job and the work that they have to do. And even though what they do may not be important to anyone else in the world, it's important to them, which means it has to be important to me. So as a sales professional, don't fret the CRM system. Don't sweat the information it's asking you to input. Take that time, take that energy, and brand you. Now, if you need more tips on branding, it's all over the internet. I did a chapter in the book, Grunt to Groan, Sales Lessons Learned from Professional Wrestling, on the branding of you. Or email me at greatamericanthunder@gmail.com, and we'll discuss it. We'll communicate about it. And if you have successfully branded yourself, I'd love to hear your story. I'd love to know how you did it. I'd love to share your story with the Grunt to Groan Nation. So with that, I'm going to wrap up this episode of Grunt to Groan, Sales Lessons Learned from Professional Wrestling. I want to thank you again for taking time out of your busy day to listen to episode number 41. Whoo-wee! Who'd have ever thought we got here? Don't forget, you can email me at greatamericanthunder@gmail.com. You can follow me on LinkedIn at Benjamin Burrows. You can follow me on Twitter at greatamericanthunder@gmail, or Great American Thunder, I'm sorry. And you can follow me on Facebook at Benjamin Burrows. You have a great week and brand yourself. Don't forget, as a sales professional, you are the Great American Thunder on which this nation rolls, because nothing happens until something is sold, until you sell it. So quit listening to me. Get out there and sell something.
I am one voice that stands alone. I am one choice to man the throne. Stand guard and take shots. Give it all I got. All I got is this microphone.